Welcome to the Professor's Parlor, a think tank media podcast. Hosted by Dr. Berkita S. Bradford and Dr. Sherrie Tennessee, this is a space for real conversations about professional growth, career pathways, and what's next for hospitality and tourism. From entrepreneurship to industry leadership and the lived experiences of students on HBCU campuses, each episode blends academic insight with real-world perspective. Pull up a chair. Let's get into it.
Good evening, and welcome to the Professor's Parlor. We are delighted to have you join us tonight. We hope that you will enjoy our podcast. I am Berkita Bradford, and I am an associate professor and the department chair of the Hospitality and Tourism program in the School of Business at North Carolina Central. And my co-host is Dr. Sherrie Tennessee. I come to you live from North Carolina, and she comes to you live from the West Coast. And so I am going to pivot and let Dr. Sherrie introduce herself. And she will actually, if you've seen our previous podcast, I have been taking the lead, but she's going to take the lead on this one. But I do want to start off by saying it is homecoming at North Carolina Central, and we both are in the homecoming spirit because it is also homecoming at Virginia State this week. So, and we are so excited about our next guest. We love when our students become our colleagues and we're able to reach out and have them speak with us and share their experiences and knowledge and wisdom as we did when they were students in our classroom. Okay, Sherrie, I'm passing it on to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bradford. Always a pleasure and honor to be able to share this platform with you. Shout out to Tim Floor for this amazing opportunities. We're learning so much about each other behind the scenes and the connections and the places, and he has amazing graphics. As Dr. Bradford said, my name is Sherrie Tennessee. I am the online coordinator, satellite liaison, and assistant professor at the Virginia State University. It is homecoming there as well as Norfolk State, which is my alma mater. So homecoming is truly, we are excited for the conversation tonight. I have been teaching for over 20 years, and I had the pleasure of meeting this particular gentleman, Derrick, when I was at Johnson & Wales University in their hospitality department, and it has been absolutely amazing to see his growth. So I'm so excited to share, get more insight on his experience, and he's in the cruise industry, which we don't hear about as much. So I'm super excited for the conversation and just to continue on the podcast. So Derrick is coming in now. Hi, Derrick. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon or good evening, ladies. I forgot one's afternoon, one's evening, so not sure what to say, but hi there. So happy to be here.
Good evening. Good evening. It's evening.
Good evening.
For me, like it is for you.
Yes.
The sun is shining, so it's not evening for me yet, but we're getting there. Derrick, I met you, I want to say maybe 13 years ago when you were a student at Johnson & Wales. You were in the hospitality program. I would love for you to share because we want to encourage, we want to talk to hospitality students, potential students. Can you share a little bit of how you feel like your hospitality degree prepared you for the career that you are currently in now?
Oh, absolutely. And I know it goes without saying that, had one of the best professors who, not to put a little plug in there, but I actually did learn a lot about the spa industry, which now I'm able to talk about with these lines because it's a big proponent of what we offer. But no, to answer your question, yes, I am so happy, so thankful I went to Johnson & Wales. I started off in the culinary side of it, but I always swore that I was too cute for the kitchen. So I ventured off into the more of the industry hospitality side and just fell in love with the cruise and just the whole service, bringing people's, I guess, bucket lists, dreams to life via whatever cruise we have available. So definitely the time at Johnson & Wales was just great. And I can't think of anything better. And just, I guess, even from like the ship visits that we did down in Miami to just and I'm still bad at geography, but shout out to Professor Schwartz and her quizzes about where things are in the world. If I could, I would go back and use those every day because I'm still so bad at it. But no, it's yeah, just hospitality is just on another level. So I'm very grateful for Johnson and Wales for sure. Not sure if that answers your question, but I just went on a whole tangent.
It did. It's okay. As we say, it's kind of like being in our living rooms and our classrooms, just more casual. Derrick, can you share a little bit of what it is that you do today and how you were kind of introduced? I would love for you to talk about Dr. Roberta Schwartz and just the role she also played in your career today, which is so important to students and understanding mentors. We talked about that tonight, and those opportunities.
Yeah, so I mean, starting off with you as well, the fact that, I started Johnson and Wales back in technically March of 2020, no, gosh, 2012, graduated May 2014, and I had the honor of having you as a professor, and the fact that still, what is that? 11 years later, you and I can still connect on platforms like
Mhm.
this. And same thing with Professor Schwartz and Professor Donna Moore and Professor Leslie. Oh gosh, what was I'm so used to, like, we went from professor to now I call them Aunt Roberta, not Leslie, and now I'm forgetting their last names. But no,
It's all
very much
good.
still, yeah,
That's
very
okay.
much still in contact with everyone. Sorry, say the question one more time. I got excited about
So what
about
do you
answering that. If it's
do? And you talked about like an important role that Roberta and Leslie have played in the success in your career.
Yes. Okay. So, yes, sorry about that. Yeah. So, I'm currently the regional sales director for the great 11 states of the Northeast, as I like to call them, for the Scenic Group. We're actually one company with two brands and four products. Well, technically, three products underneath it. And so, we're able to really cover all aspects of the globe as far as oceans, as far as rivers, and as well as land operations. But so I've been doing this for the last, oh gosh, like I said, since right after graduation. So going on 11 years.
Mhm.
That's what I do. And I pretty much am the liaison between the travel advisors and travel agencies in my territory with the cruise line. So I work with them to push the products of the Scenic Group out to their clients, whether it's in person, hosting different maybe consumer nights or consumer presentations, as well as being out in front of them doing agency trainings, as well as, I do have the opportunity to host my own little events. So that's another way to get in front of the advisors and their clients as well. So it's a great mixture when you think of hospitality, because I have the customer facing side, but then I also have the advisor facing side. But then I also, you know, am kind of like in finance too, where I manage my own territory budget, but then I'm also planning events as well. So I like that the cruise industry is really a whole collaborative, different aspects of hospitality. But with the expertise that I was taught by some amazing people at Johnson Wales, just the fact of, you know, even back in school when we had our ship inspections being down in Miami, and we had Professor Moore and took us on our first kind of international trip where we had to plan the trip from start to finish, from transportation to lodging to activities, and to just cohesively putting that together in a package that, one, was within our budgets, and two, that really met everyone's needs. Even little activities like that throughout my time in Johnsonville has really prepared me for where I am today in this role.
I love it. When you came to my class and you mentioned it tonight, a lot of times in cruise, people, events is huge in hospitality. Dr. Bradford, I'm sure you can speak to that as well.
Absolutely.
People were blown away that you do cruise things, but you still host events. So can you talk a little bit about maybe like what your day-to-day is like, or when you have to put those events together and the purpose that they serve, and again, how that degree and those event classes have helped you in your current role?
Of course. So technically my day to day is really just a mixture of reaching out to my territory, whether it's in person or, thanks to the time frame that we won't talk about, virtually now. From there, I do have the opportunity to put together little events because, as I'm sure everyone here probably feels the same way, the virtual life, as great as it is, sometimes you still want that in-person touch, and you want to be able to look someone in the eyes, especially if they're giving you a
Mhm.
presentation on their product. So from time to time, I know personally I do it quarterly, and I try to do different events within the 11 states that I have. So most recently, I partnered with my colleague who covers the Southeast Territory, and we hosted a wellness event where we brought advisors out to learn about the offerings of the scenic group. So it was a two-parter. The first part, we hosted goat yoga, which I'll just keep it at that. And then the second part was
Yes.
we hosted little sound bowls, and then we did like a little presentation, and we had little nice packets put together with some of our products that we sell on board, which is our ESPA. Um, or we have a partnership with ESPA that we use. So we had like nice little packages put together with our logos on it. But just to say, like, hey, coming on board, whether it's on the ocean, on the riverside, you have this opportunity to not only visit destinations that you may have never thought of going to, or another check mark off your bucket list, but also just in a way you're also here to relax and really enjoy yourself. So I do appreciate that aspect. And honestly, talking to people is fun to a point, but I think the whole planning and executing events is really what I love to do, especially in my day to day. So especially
So I
when
have,
boss tells me that I get some extra funds to put on multiple events. So I'm like, yay.
so I have a question for you. You kind of,
Yes.
so you said you're in New Jersey. This goat yoga, was that
Yes.
in New Jersey?
No, we actually hosted it down in Maryland.
Okay, because I was gonna ask where did you get the goats, but I was just curious. I was
They're
like,
everywhere.
I know it's huge, but I just didn't, like I've seen, I'm not ready for it yet, but yeah, it is a huge thing. And I just wondered how did
Me
they pick
either.
goats? But I digress. Let's stay on topic. I digress. I digress.
I
Go
was
ahead.
looking for the puppy version, but unfortunately in the area of Maryland, because we were trying to
Mhm.
stay within that DMV area,
Mhm.
um, unfortunately they didn't have puppies available, so only goat yoga was there. So
Oh, I
it is.
bet puppies would have just been. Everybody loves a puppy. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I sure do.
Okay.
But that's just two
And the
examples.
goats are cool too.
And the goats are cool, yes. But that's just two examples. Other times I've done just a restaurant takeover where we just host in the back of a restaurant with a nice screen presentation.
Mhm.
Another fun little, again, I guess a little hospitality-esque touch to it. Within my team, I'm the one known for kind of going out there with my ideas. So I used to get little cookies made, sugar cookies made with my face on it. And then we had a second batch made with the logo on it. So I used to give those as like little thank you for coming. So as a
Mhm.
way to say like, hey, remember the scenic group and also take a great bite out of life. So it's just those little touches that I like to put my
Mhm.
little spin on. So, and again, none of those ideas would have been possible had I not gone to yes, exactly.
Mhm.
None of those ideas would have been possible had I not gone to Johnson Wales and really had the chance to focus and hone in on my hospitality skills. Because who would have thought 11 years ago that public speaking or presenting or again event planning and budgeting and setting goals and helping accounts achieve their goals and reaching out to folks that I would have been shy to talk to before. So it definitely changes you in a good way, but again, I can't see myself in any other industry as of right now.
Yeah.
So,
So I have a question for you.
mhm.
So you've shared your wonderful journey, and it seems very interesting and rewarding. We have a lot of students who are interested in cruises and working in the cruise industry. And it seems to be, for me anyway, as an educator, and someone who takes pride on connecting my students to the right folks, how would you, or what would one do to enter the cruise industry, at the internship level, and then upon graduation to begin a rewarding career like the one that you've been able to build?
Great question.
That's a great question. I would say, other than me actually going to school for it, the way I actually ended up in the industry, I still think it's funny. Um, I was at my second job. I worked as a night auditor down at the Freehand Miami, down in Miami Beach, and course, working overnights, just trying to multitask with homework
Mhm.
and jobs. I was actually doing an assignment for my capstone class, and the
Mm.
assignment was to research companies that I would like to work for, find out, you know, what they're hiring for and if they're hiring. And I was supposed to go to their application page and just fill it out, but not submit it, but do like a screen print and
Okay. Okay.
just submit it that. And of course, being tired, Derek, working overnights, the one application I had to do twice because the first time I filled it out, I accidentally hit submit and sent it in before I could get the screenshot. So I had to do it again to do the assignment. But that's actually how I ended up with my first job at MSC Cruises. And honestly, once I got into it and learned about all these different organizations and all these different events, for someone who wants to break into the industry, I could. I'm speaking of Florida right now because I know that's a big cruising market for a lot of
Mhm.
me and my friends out there. Um, Definitely network and check out industry events. These big events such as Cruise 360 or Cruise World. These are events that's open to the public. So that's a great way to get your face in front of, all types of vendors and all types of suppliers out there. That would be my first suggestion. And also, I know it's maybe a little odd way of doing it nowadays, but even just dropping into headquarters, a lot of the cruise lines, I know my company has our address posted on our website, so I would feel free to drop in and, just talk to the front desk or see if you could drop off your resume. Um, but again, I think the best way is just to definitely find out if there's any industry events going on. I know with the cruise life, we have ASTA, which is Association of s- Registered Travel Agents. I think I forgot what the S stands for. That's a big one that's literally nationwide, so you can always find an event there. And there's also a lot of local events for travel agents as well. So I'm not sure if that truly answers your question.
That gives
Uh,
insight. Mhm.
Definitely, it's so hard, but I still say, just really doing things in person because a lot of things that people are doing, which is still great, filling out the job applications and just waiting for a response. But sometimes, you have to do things a little bit different and out the box. And, being in this industry, that's the one thing I've learned that helps stand out is to do something outside the box and be different. So while everyone else is filling out applications online, yes, do that, but then also see about going into the office and putting a face to the name and just dropping off a manual resume there as well. I appreciate that. So, but no, I don't know. I
Derek,
definitely
interrupt now.
I I
Mhm.
appreciate that. Some days it doesn't feel like it, but I definitely do try. Gosh, but no, I think yeah, there's no bad idea. There's no wrong idea. It's just um but networking. I wish I would have networked more when I was in college than or I mean, so I could continue doing it now versus having to start it being in the industry. Because again, you never know. And I if I could mention him, Mr. Vladimir. He was a mentor that Johnson Wales set me up with at the time. He worked at Carnival Cruise Lines, and he's actually still there, Mr. Vladimir Linder. He was also a big help at just guiding me and saying like, "Hey, we have this event," or Miami, there's this event, and even with some events that you don't think cruise lines may be at, they'll definitely support it, such as the Food and Wine Festival in
Yeah,
South
that's
Beach that we
huge in
have.
Miami. Mhm.
And I know we have the New York version as well, but cruise lines go and
Mhm.
support that. Um, a one I did last year that I had so much fun at that I never thought that we would be there, but we was a sponsor, or sorry, my company was a sponsor for the U.S. Open, so I was able
Mm.
to host some
Oh, wow.
tables and host some folks at the U.S. Open in New York. And, who would have thought, cruise lines and sports, but it's actually a really good blend because of the fact that, you have that clientele that loves the sport, but then they will travel for it. So
Mhm.
how else do you want to travel? Cruise lines, hotels, airlines. So it's we're definitely there. We're slowly getting into places that you wouldn't think we are in, but yeah, no idea is too big or too small for sure. But I guess to answer your question in short,
I love
networking.
that. I got it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So speaking of networking, and I don't know if you see it, your LinkedIn profile and connection is popping up. Can you share with some of our students who maybe, for Virginia State, I have students that are in maybe some more rural locations. Can you
Mhm.
talk about how you use maybe LinkedIn to grow your network? Because I know we had a conversation about LinkedIn, and I want to say 2013, you and one of your colleagues named Johnny, I'm not going to put Johnny's last name out there, and just like getting onto this platform, the professionalism, the headshots. Can you speak to that a little bit as well?
Yes. So, my journey with LinkedIn, goodness gracious, that is still something that's still unfolding, if I could be honest.
That's because
Uh,
LinkedIn is a journey now. Okay. I
it
get it.
is because I thought I was going to be able to come into LinkedIn, I have this whole awe-inspiring post, and like, yes. But so far, what I've seen it do is just do a lot of reposting and messaging folks like, hey, would love to connect and see how we could work together. But to answer your question, yes, my first thing I do is repost, repost, repost. Second thing I do is comment, because what I have seen is by you commenting on someone else's post, whether it's related to your industry or you just like the content, that also draws eyes to your page. So that helps with the traffic, if you will, to see what you're about and see, where you're coming from. So I repost everything. I try to comment on as much as I can with thoughtful comments and not just random like way to goes or clap, clap, claps. So it has to be definitely something thought provoking from what I learned. I definitely do think too, and maybe I'm too good at it, is if I see you on LinkedIn or with some type of hospitality company, whether it's in the cruise industry or not, I always send you a connection or a link, because again, I may be looking for one thing, and although it may not be you, but you may know someone else. So I'm always looking for new friends, if you will. And the one thing I always say is I never call, our competitors, they're all industry friends to me,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, we're all serving the same goal. We're trying to find the right folks to fill our ships, fill, or as the hotel says, is it heads and beds for the
Heaven
hotel
beds.
side?
Yes.
Heads and
Heads
beds.
and beds.
So we're
Mhm.
all working towards the same goal. And although our product may not be right for that particular person, we have an industry friend where it may be suitable for. So I always like to make sure I'm networking with as much, and also to working in the field and not being home as much as I would like to. Ideally, Mondays and Fridays are my work from home days, but then the rest of the week I'm out somewhere. So it's always nice to also have those friends. And when I do events or if I'm at a trade show, I could say like, "Hey, how are you? Nice to see you again." And in this industry, I have noticed that we are such a small industry that you really do know everyone and everyone knows everyone, even though you may not think they know you or heard of you, they know you. So always be on your P's and Q's for sure. But yeah, everyone's an industry friend. We love everyone. And just the fact of, um, yeah, so, but my LinkedIn, yes, reposting, commenting to draw traffic to your page. Um, and as far as posting goes, I'll be honest, I'm not the greatest when it comes to posting on LinkedIn, but there may be some topics that I'll cover as far as like, oh, for example, because I'm here with you guys tonight, we literally just announced that we have a new ship coming out in
Oh, yeah.
2028. So
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, so it'll be in addition to five more that we announced earlier this year. So I drafted something on my LinkedIn, so that'll be posted tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Do you get to cruise often?
I wouldn't say often, but yes, I do get to
Okay.
cruise more often than not, and I do always try to invite certain folks to come with me, even though it's taken them about good 5-7 years to say yes to it. No one
Would
ever
that be
delivered
Dr.
it all.
Sherrie?
I know she's very busy, so it's quite all right. But yes, I do think the
Alaska,
plan.
you know, I want Alaska. I want Alaska. That's where I want to go with the kiddo and just have that experience. But Derrick, I have another question for you. So Tim Floor,
Yes,
this is his platform. He
yes.
does the hospitality internship. Can you talk about your internship experience and how that really helped you to solidify your career?
Yes, absolutely. So, again, shout out to Johnson& and Wales, although my campus is not there anymore, but we love
Oh, may
Johnson&
it
and
rest
Wales
in
though.
peace.
So I was lucky enough to have, I guess we could say, two versions of an internship. So my first version of an internship was, I guess it was 2 weeks long. Gosh, it was actually at the American Airlines in the flight tower where they
Ah,
oversee
Mhm.
all the
mhm,
planes.
mhm,
So I spent
mhm.
2 weeks up there
The air
because I
traffic controllers.
thank
Wow.
you. Yes, with the air
Mhm,
traffic
mhm.
control. So
There
I
you
had to get
go.
special clearance, had to be escorted up, the whole works. So I swore I was going to be in the airline industry, and that's definitely a tough job. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know about this. And there's no napping. Your breaks are very, organized because you
mhm,
can't miss those planes. So I'm like, maybe not. So we went back to the
mhm,
drawing board, and I ended up doing an amazing, gosh, I think it was pretty much a whole semester, or I guess in our time, trimester, at Carnival Cruise Lines.
Mhm.
I actually worked down at the port in Miami. Started off, I did 2 days in the office at their headquarters in Doral, and then the rest of the time I was working operations at the port. So I did everything from check-in to disembarkation to um, luggage moving around, the whole aspect from on the ship to the terminal operations. So, and again, I think it's just seeing, especially kids, and Carnival was big on kids, and we love
mhm,
them for that. But just seeing like the families and the excitement and hearing all the stories about like, oh, this is my first cruise. The kids are so excited, and just see those faces and just excitement. And even for those without kids, like, still brings like a little tear to my eye just seeing how excited cruises made people. And the fact that it's really a nice little package altogether. You have your food, you have your accommodations, you have, depending on your
mhm.
package, you have your drinks, your Wi-Fi, your shore excursions all bundled together. So it's really, a nice little way to go about it. But I think just working in the terminal really made me feel that cruising is what I wanted to do. And it was at that point where I'm like, you know what? Love culinary, I'll always be able to cook, as long as you know the fundamentals and the basics, you could go from there. But definitely cruising is where I need to be. Plus, who doesn't like to travel and use their passport and get stamped? Even though now Europe is trying to change that,
Yeah, you
trying to
don't get
make it,
scared.
yeah,
Derrick,
biometrics.
do you have any questions?
Yeah, so I do, and we are at about 2 more minutes before we wrap up.
Oh
Yeah,
goodness. Okay, sorry.
listen, Cherie and I are talkers, and undoubtedly everyone we know they're talkers as well because everyone that we had as guests, it's been like this. But I would like for you to, congratulations on an amazing career and continued success to you. But I
I
would like
appreciate
for you
that.
to speak a little bit, if you're able to, on opportunities within your organization. I'm not sure if your organization offers internships or, something of that nature for someone looking to, like you did, figure out which job is for me. Because I think the most beautiful thing in the world about an internship is to figure out what you don't like to do, even more so than what you like to do. I tell the story all the time. I was an elementary
Mhm.
education major. I went to work with my mother. She taught second grade. And I learned in about 15 minutes, I don't like kids. And I was like, yeah, you're going to have to change your major. So I think an internship is invaluable. And I say that, kind of like tongue in cheek. I liked kids, but kids that were something to me, like, relatives. But in general, I did not need to be an elementary school teacher at all. So if you could maybe speak to, if someone is interested in joining your company, what would that look like?
Absolutely. And just as a side note, I I have to agree with you. Love you, Professor. But that's why I'm with the luxury line,
Absolutely,
we
yes,
take
yes,
families, but there's not a lot of kids, I'm
yes,
just like,
yes.
ah. But no, so to answer your question, yes, we have an amazing HR department. She's a powerful woman of one. She handles it all. Her name is Natasha.
Okay,
What I would recommend doing is at least add me on LinkedIn. Definitely send me a message, and I would
okay,
love to connect you with our HR, Natasha. I
okay.
know that
I
we're in the
appreciate
process
that. And we're
of.
already connected on LinkedIn, by the way. We're
Oh
already
yeah, you and
connected.
I are. I know. Yep.
Yes.
But yeah, so we would love to connect you and Natasha because we're actually in the process of actually revamping
Okay.
our internship program, especially since, being in South Florida and also, the way I started, when I did get that job from accidentally submitting my application, I did start off on the bottom level and wasn't res, but it was definitely in sales. So I've always been in sales. You know,
Mhm.
those res agents work very hard. Luckily, I didn't have to do that, but started from the bottom in sales and, whatever we could do to help. And just especially if we know your goals and if there's opportunity within certain departments, whether it's marketing or sales, or maybe if you do want res and learning how to do outbound
Mhm.
cold calling, Natasha is amazing. So she will definitely be the one to help
Okay.
place you in the right position.
I
We
will
even have
definitely be
internal
following up.
internships. Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. I will be following up. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let your professor close out, but I will say thank you for joining us in the parlor. It has been amazing to hear your journey, and we're always so proud of our students. And even though you were not my student, we do, we always think of students collectively, and we love when you stay in the industry and you're able to enjoy it and you're able to provide for yourself financially. Because at the end of the day, as I love what I do, but if the direct deposit doesn't come, I am going to be seeking something else.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
congratulations and continued success. It was a pleasure to meet you in the parlor.
you as well, Professor Bedford. And yes, I agree with that because hospitality, you definitely need to have a certain type of skin. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not for the weak. It's not for the weak.
Mm-mm. Man,
Awesome.
I,
Yes. Yes. All right. Sherrie, I'll let you close us out.
With that, Derrick, always thank you, Derrick. It is always so good to see you. It's amazing to have watched your success over the last decade. And I will be cruising, McCoy and I will be cruising with you soon. You know where I want to go. I sent you before. So I will follow up to make that happen. We wish you continued success. We have shared your email, we've shared your LinkedIn. So please, everyone, reach out to Derrick. There are so many opportunities in the cruise industry, and it all ties back to hospitality between the events and the planning and the food
mm-hmm.
and the travel. All of that can be captured in the cruise industry. So we wish you
Yes.
continued
Yeah.
success. We are hoping that our watchers will reach out to you for more insight and opportunities within your organization. And with that, Derrick, have a great week and we will see your success on LinkedIn. Everyone, we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining with us today and be well.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for spending time with us on the Professor's Parlor. This podcast is part of Hospitality Nexus, a global human-first platform bringing the hospitality ecosystem together in one place. Inside the Nexus, it's a career fair that never closes, connecting industry leaders, educators, students, employers, and partners through real presence. Watch every episode of the Professor's Parlor inside Hospitality Nexus at hospitalitynexus.org. Stay curious, keep the dialogue going, and always lead with the spirit of hospitality.